What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video on my channel Skotrix, and today as you can see we are back not on NBA 2K22 but instead we're going to be back on this tier chart right here, and today I'm going to be ranking all of the best defense badges in NBA 2K22 current gen and next gen. I'm going to be doing both gens together just like I did for all three of the other badge videos, just because all of the badges are the same and it's just a lot easier to do both gens together since everything is the same. And I'm going to be doing every single build here too, so I'll rank for every build. I'm going to have to try to balance it out between these, so I'll do 4 badges for each category, 5 categories, 4 badges each. That's 20 badges, and it will cover every defense badge in NBA 2K22 current gen and next gen. And there's not really too many bad defense badges, so just because I put something in the C or the B category or something like that doesn't mean that it's a bad badge. It might just be good for only specific builds, and like I said, I'll try to rank it for every build and talk about which badge is good for which build, which position, and why. So hopefully this video will be as informative as possible for every single build, every single position, whether you're on current gen or next gen. And yeah, also like I said, I did the finishing, shooting, and playmaking badges all before this, so make sure you go back and check those out as well if you're interested in those videos. But today we got the defense, so without any further ado, let's get right into the video here. Alright, so first up right here we have ankle braces, and I'm going to slide ankle braces right into the bottom category right here, the D tier category. You really don't need this badge under any circumstances unless you're getting your ankles snatched just constantly, and if you're getting your ankles snatched constantly, you probably won't be able to get this badge because you'll probably have no defense badges at all. So ankle braces, really not an important badge. I don't really recommend it for any build. Next up right here we have pick dodger, and pick dodger is an interesting one. I'm going to put it into the B category. If you're playing like the twos in the park or something, this is a super important badge. If you're playing the rec or 3v3, it could also be important, but if you're playing with a pre-made team, you can probably switch on screens and you'll be okay without this badge if you don't have a ton of defense badges. But if you do have a ton of defense badges and you're an on-ball defender, I definitely recommend getting pick dodger for basically any build, as long as, like I said, you have enough defense badges. And next up right here we have interceptor. I'm going to put interceptor into the A category. This is a pretty good badge this year. If you have a decent steal rating and you have a decent ability to get off-ball steals, definitely consider investing into interceptor as probably one of your first defense badges. It is a super good badge for basically every position as long as you have a high enough steal to be able to get the off-ball steals. So yeah, that's interceptor, good badge right there. Next up we have rebound chaser. Rebound chaser, definitely an S tier badge. If you're a big man or anybody who can grab rebounds, you definitely want rebound chaser for sure. Super important badge, probably the first thing I would recommend to get for most big man build. Super good badge. Next up right here we have pogo stick. I'm going to put pogo stick into the A category as well. This is a pretty good badge, obviously mostly just for big men. If you're a guard, you probably don't need to invest into pogo stick, but if you're a big man, pogo stick is definitely a good badge. If you have at least 15 to 20 defense badges, I would definitely consider getting pogo stick, because everybody gets pump faked sometimes, or sometimes you just go up for a rebound and you don't get it and you need to go up right away to block the shot. So pogo stick, super good badge right there, and I recommend it for basically any big man that can get it. And next up right here we have rim protector. Rim protector is also going to get dropped into the A category. Again, really good badge for any big man build. Definitely recommend it, up there with rebound chaser and pogo stick. Even some guards, if you have a high block on your guard, you might want to consider getting rim protector, especially if you're an off-ball guard or a guard that ends up in the paint a lot more. Pretty good badge right there in rim protector. Definitely a top tier badge, especially for big men. Next up right here we have ball stripper. Ball stripper is going into the D category right here. You probably don't need this badge unless you're just like a super lockdown and you love just being annoying and trying to strip the ball when people slash, but you might end up getting a lot of fouls, so just be careful about that. But ball stripper, most builds will not need this badge. You won't even need to consider it or look into it. And next up right here we have box. Box is also going to round out the final badge for the A category right here. Again, if you're a big man, box is super important. It's really important to get good box outs this year, and this badge helps a lot. So if you're a big man, get it as high as possible, as early as possible. And then next up right here we have chase down artist. Chase down artist is going to go into the B category. This is actually a pretty good badge. If you just put it onto bronze, you'll notice a lot more chase down blocks, and the chase down blocks you can get this year with this on bronze on both current gen and next gen are pretty insane. So I would recommend, if you're a build with at least a decent block rating, to consider putting this onto bronze. And if you have a ton of defense badges, you can even put it higher. So that's chase down artist, pretty solid defense badge right there. Next up we have menace. I'm going to put menace all the way up into the S category. I recommend this for any on-ball defender. Super good badge, especially if you have high defense ratings. This is going to make it a lot harder for the offensive player to score on you, especially, like I said, if you have high defense ratings and if you're good at defense. this badge is going to be super good for you, and it will help you out a lot. I definitely recommend it for any on-ball defender as long as you can get it. Next up right here, we have Pickpocket, and I'm going to put Pickpocket into the C category. I think the primary use of this badge is that you can reach a lot more and you won't get called for fouls. I think that's a lot better than the added ability to get on-ball steals, since I don't really think it helps that much with getting on-ball steals, but it does help you not get called for fouls when you're reaching. So that's why Pickpocket goes into the C category right here. It's a decent badge, but it's not the best. I would only really recommend it for any sort of outside lockdown build with a ton of defense badges where you can afford to get this. If you're a low defense badge or a medium defense badge build, there's probably going to be a lot better options for you for defense badges than Pickpocket, but it is a decent badge. And next up right here, we have Brick Wall. I'm also going to put Brick Wall into the B category right here. And the reason I'm putting this into the B category is because it's pretty much an impossible badge to rank. You'll know if you need it. If you set a lot of screens, you definitely need it. If you don't set screens, there's absolutely no point in having it. So it's pretty obvious whether you're going to need it or not. Everybody should know whether they need Brick Wall or not. And next up right here, we have Post Lockdown. Post Lockdown is going to go into the C category right here. I don't think you need this badge for most builds. The only way I would say to get this is if you're a big man that has like 30 defense badges and you don't know what else to invest into. But if you have that many defense badges, you're probably not going to have any problem guarding people in the post anyways. So Post Lockdown, it's decent, but it's not really needed for most builds. That's why it goes into the C category right there. And obviously if you're a guard, you don't need it at all. And next up right here, we have Intimidator. Intimidator definitely going into the S category. This badge is super good for any build, any position. Basically, if you can get Intimidator, get it as one of your first badges for sure. Super good badge there for basically every build. And next up right here, we have Defensive Leader. Defensive Leader goes into the D category. I don't recommend this badge for basically any reason, unless maybe you're playing in the Rec or the Pro M5v5 and one of the players on the team has just a ton of defense badges and they want to put this badge on to help out the rest of the team with some defense. Then it's definitely something you can consider, but other than that, you really don't need defense badges or Defense Leader on really any build. So I don't recommend it for really any build unless you're in the Rec or the Pro M5v5 like I said. And next up right here, we have Clamps. Definitely an S tier badge as well. I recommend Clamps for basically every single outside build. Now the one thing about Clamps is that some people think it will just play defense for them. No, you still need to be decent at playing defense, otherwise Clamps isn't just going to bail you out every single time you try to play defense. It's not a super badge, but it is really good. And it will help you clamp up people on the perimeter, especially if you have high perimeter defense to pair with Clamps. Super good badge right there. Definitely an important one for every single outside defending build. And next up right here, we have Hustler. I'm going to put Hustler into the C category. Probably not a badge that you're going to need unless, again, you have a ton of defense badges and you can afford it. It's more of a luxury badge. It's not really an essential badge that you're going to need for any build, but more of a luxury badge for every build. And next up right here, we have Tireless Defender. And I'm going to put Tireless Defender also into the C category. This is one of those badges that if you need it, you'll probably know you need it. If you're running out of stamina a lot, if you're guarding players that are just running back and forth, then Tireless Defender might be a good badge for you. But if you're a big man, you definitely won't need it. You're not going to be losing much stamina on defense. And if you're an off-ball guard, you won't need it. And if you're an on-ball guard who doesn't really run out of stamina, you're really more of a stationary defending on-ball guard rather than a chasing on-ball guard, then you probably won't need it. But if you're one of those guards who's always running around screens and stuff, maybe you're playing twos or whatever, then this is a badge that you can definitely consider investing into. And next up right here, we have Worm, and I'm going to put Worm into the B category. Solid badge right here. If you're a big man that can get Worm, definitely look at getting it, but it's not super important. It might help you get an extra rebound every once in a while. You might get around a box out if they don't have the box badge every once in a while. So Worm, decent badge. If you have more than maybe 20 defense badges on a big man build, you can consider getting it out to bronze. And if you have like 30, you can consider getting it higher. But otherwise, there's a lot of better badges like Rebound Chaser, Pogo Stick Rim Protector Box that I would recommend over Worm. So that's why it goes into the B category right there. Decent badge. And last but not least, well, pretty much least, we have Off-Ball Pest. This badge is terrible. I don't recommend it for any build. It's really just, I mean, yeah, you don't need off-ball pests. No matter what your build is, even if you're an off-ball player all the time, you don't need off-ball pests. Pretty much not a completely useless badge. I mean, it does something, but It's not something that's really important to the game, so you don't need off-ball pesh, just ignore it for sure. And yeah, that's going to be it for the best defense badges in NBA 2K21 or 22 current gen and next gen. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel if you're new. Only 2% of people who watch my videos are actually subbed to my channel, so if you click that subscribe button right now, you can join the 2% gang. I really appreciate it, helps it a lot. And also I stream on Twitch. My Twitch link will be down in the description below. Make sure you go follow me over there if you enjoy watching live streams. And like I said at the start of the video, my finishing, shooting, and playmaking tier list videos are already out on the channel. Some of them came out yesterday, the playmaking came out today, so make sure you go back and look at those as well if you're interested in those. But yeah, that's gonna be it. All right, peace.